What is going on YouTube? It is Boro Kicks, Michael, whatever you want to call me. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for the support on yesterday's video. I think we reached somewhere around 30 subscribers, 150 views just from one video. Now I know I promoted it a lot to y'all, so that's kind of why. But then again, I had someone DM me like, yo, I saw you from your YouTube video. I don't think they even saw any of my promotion from Snapchat, Instagram, nothing like that, or Twitter. And again, no one follows me on Twitter, so drop a follow. Anyway, guys, so today's video, we're gonna be talking about how I got into the shoe selling. How did I start? What steps have I made since I started? Where am I currently at? We're gonna talk about my errors. We're gonna talk about my successes, and we're just gonna talk about, the whole gist of everything. So now I'm gonna go ahead and end the intro, and I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and I hope you all have a great day. So I'll see you all in the video. All right, guys, so in today's video, like I just said, we're gonna be giving the details on how I started, why I started, where I'm at now, just the whole steps and procedures to where I'm currently at this moment that I'm talking to you all. So for starters, we're gonna go ahead and talk about why I started. And so for me, I've always been in the shoes, okay? I've never really owned any hype shoes, anything like that. I've always been a big Air Force One guy, Jordan 31s, slides, stuff like that, maybe some 270s, nothing crazy whatsoever. I never spent big money in the shoes, like I said. I mean, y'all heard what I just listed, nothing crazy expensive, nothing hyped. But so for me, I've always been in the shoes, okay? I mean, that's where I'm at now. And once again, we will get into that eventually. I'm not sure if we'll hit that in today's video. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. So once again, always been in the shoes, nothing crazy. I never had the money for any of that. So, that may ask yourself, what actually made me get into it other than the fact that I liked it. So for me personally, one day I was over at a Nike outlet, I guess they're called, one of the clearance sections over in Sevierville, Tennessee. And I was just going through there because I saw a YouTube video about people selling stuff in there. And I was like, okay, I never thought about selling it, but I was like, have some steals, because that's where I always shopped and got shoes at, because they had some killer deals there. So I was going through there one day and I saw a pair of these Jordan 1 mids or highs. I forget exactly which ones they were, but they were the team orange ones, and they were only like $50. And I went on like GoDaddy and I saw they were selling for more. So, I bought them with the intention on selling them to make a couple bucks. And, I just thought it was a joke, just maybe make 20, 30 bucks. And so I got them, took them home, figured out how to use the app, set up everything, and then I posted them up on the app. Well, time passed. It was probably 2 or 3 days and I get a notification it's sold. I was like, okay, that was simple. And that is what truly escalated me to doing it more. So at first I started this outlet driving 2 hours each way. So 4-hour round trips, 4.5, something like that. And I would just stack up, a couple pairs over time. And you may ask yourself, how are you affording that? You just started. Well, sometimes you have to have money, to start. You have to have money to make money. And, for me personally, I had a little bit different ways because, I know none of y'all are probably in my situation, or very few of you. At the time, I was receiving Social Security checks because my mother passed away at a younger age. So I got money every month from the government to help, my family support me. But at my age, they decided, hey, they're gonna give it to me as a gift every month. So at that time, I had X amount of money coming in, so that's kind of what I spent it on. But it wasn't hundreds of dollars or anything I'd spend it on. Like I said, I'm buying $60 shoes. So I mean, I'll make a video on how to explain to make money. Like, I'm gonna do something like that for y'all eventually. But you got to have some money to make the money. You just don't get the shoes for free. But I will show y'all how to get free stuff to make money. But once again, future video. But anyway, back to the story. So I'd slowly just build my profit up from there, buying 1 pair at a time, 2 pair at a time. I'd try to find local as well. So I would go on Facebook and, see how much, people are selling them for, see if anyone are selling them really cheap. Your best options are parents mainly selling their younger kids shoes. Teenagers need a quick buck. Check your high school, check all that. You know how that goes. Basic stuff like that. Like, for example, here in a couple days, I'm buying a pair of Jordan 1s. Don't even know the name of them, for like $10 from some dude that I know on Snapchat that went to my school because he needs money. So, I can get steals like that. So y'all need to check that out. That's gonna be one of your most reliable resources, is local deals like that, because if it's not for that, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's gonna be your #1 way on getting into the whole money making starting off until you can actually get a capital to start buying from these bulk dealers. But anyway, so back to my story. I started doing this for a while over summer. So at one point I was cashing out $300-400 worth of pairs, you know, every single trip I went. I was going every single weekend. I was posting things up. I'm selling things left and right. And then college came around. So for me, I kind of slowed down for a while, and you know, that came to the end of it because the outlets here in Nashville area suck. And over there we only have one. Here we have two, and they are both terrible, terrible, terrible. I'm talking like ugly, like shoes. Like you're not gonna get anything nice. I'm talking, I think the Air Force One snake skins, stuff like that. You know what that is? That's bad. But anyway, so that kind of made me have to try something else. And for me, that kind of led to eBay. And this is where you have to be careful. So for me, I did eBay for a while. I started off buying a couple pairs. I never bought that many. I probably bought maybe 6-7 pairs. And I'm talking pairs just like this, for say. It's a pair of these Jordan 1 mids. I think these are Pure Monies. I don't even know the names. I kind of kept these for, you know, this video, honestly. Like, I knew I was going to do something with YouTube one day. I knew I was going to make something out of it. So I kept these just kind of for like a story time so y'all can actually see what I'm working with. I mean, I went on eBay and I tried to buy very clean shoes. And at the time, you know, I still didn't know a lot about shoes, and I still don't know a lot about shoes. Like, I'm not a good legit checker. I'm not really sure on certain names of shoes. I didn't know what to look for specifically. Like, since then, like, I didn't pay attention to stuff like the star loss on the bottom. Like, you can see all those stars have been lost on there. Like, you know, that's pretty bad. Like, that takes a lot of value away. And I never knew stuff like that. So, you know, I'm stacking up on pairs like this thinking, hey, it's not bad. It's been a couple $100s at a time that I still had. Well, you know, that happened for a while. Then eventually I started losing money on it. Like, we're talking pretty good. So I had to convert to something different. And that's when I started saving my money until I could start buying more shoes. But we'll get there in a second. But anyway, back to the eBay. With eBay, you must be careful with what you do. Read your description, read who you're buying from, read their feedback, see how many they sold, what their, you know, once again, their feedback, how it is. Just see who they are as a seller, because you need to get these good people, okay? Because I messed up. I bought from people who hardly ever sold anything. So one time I bought these Jordan 1 Michigans. The guy said they were dead stock with box. I got them, no box, far from dead stock, and the whole bottoms had like gum and all sorts of crap on them. So I was like, bro, you know, I can't take these. So that was the whole issue, trying to get them sent back to him. And yeah, it's just a mess. So, you know, you got to be careful who you deal with. Once again, that kind of brings me to Facebook groups and stuff like that. I'll get, you know, more into that in just a minute. But, you know, you can check Facebook groups, and you can do, you know, local meetups via like Craigslist, stuff like that. But please, please be careful. We don't need to see you on the news being dead on a Craigslist trade, because Craigslist has some pure scums on that website. So you kind of, you know, you need to know. There's a lot of no-shows, you know, a lot of scam artists. Y'all know that. I mean, I don't have to explain that. Y'all know that. But anyway, so for a while, that kind of made me think, okay, I need to try to figure out something else, you know, because this was not working. So I saved my money for a while, and then I was like, I think my best way is to hit on release it. So this is a whole new ball game, since, you know, I've never been involved in stuff like this. So, you know, I kind of sat down and I figured out, hey, what's coming up and dropping? And at the time, it was the Yeezy Cloud Whites. I did some research on them, watched some videos, just kind of saw what the resale prediction was, and then I went from there. And I ended up hitting on there, you know. I took money I had, once again, set to the side, and I bought 2 pair. I think it cost me closer to $500. And once again, y'all may not have that at the time, and I want to help y'all get that. So once again, you know, I'll make a video on that. But anyways, so I bought those for, I think, yeah, $500 or so, or like $245 after ship, whatever. And I ended up selling those for pretty good money. I ended up selling them, I think, almost $300 a pair. And, you know, you may ask yourself once again, how did you profit off that? You know, those aren't money sizes other than the 7.5. But the 14, that's boat size. Like, I wear 14 personally, but yeah, I get cheap shoes because, you know, big sizes cheaper typically, unless it's like some older Yeezys and some other stuff. Those are pricey. But anyway, so I put them up on Facebook. I put them up on Instagram, on my personal Instagram, and I did stuff like that. So, you know, I kind of sat there for a little bit, and I had this dude hit me from Alabama. He's like, hey man, he's like, I wear a 14 and my wife wears a 7.5. He's like, I don't have any of these apps like StockX Go. He was some car salesman, so some grown man. And he's like, you know, how much do you want for these? And I told him, I was like, $610 plus ship. And he's like, okay, I can do that. So instantly, right there, I sold him after fees and everything. He did friends and family actually, because I provided like a couple things like my ID, school ID, stuff like that. And he's like, okay, that's fine. So he sent me $610. So after ship, you know, it's not bad. I made a little bit of money, not, you know, not huge, but for me personally as a seller, if I can make $30, $40 at flip, that's good. And I know some people try to aim for, you know, much higher percents, like 70%, 60% flips, 80, even 90 or 100, you know. I don't aim for that because I'd rather move these for cheaper prices and move more or sit on them longer and then maximize my profit, because by the time I sell them, I can already flip 2, 3, 4 different pair. You know, I can just keep reinvesting that money, and that's the key right there. But anyways, that's kind of how I got started off onto that, and it just built from there, and that made me want to get into more in-depth ways of getting shoes. So I looked into, okay, you know, I have this money, you know, how can I invest it? And once again, I know I said this earlier, I'm gonna show you all some different ways, and I may even make like a tutorial, like, or not a tutorial per se, but actually make a video of me trying to do it myself, starting off with like 20 bucks and trying to, you know, stack up on it. But that, like I said, that's a different video. But anyway, so after I had this money and I'm ready to invest it, I started looking, you know, at more things such as bots, you know, or bulk inventory. What should I do? And I actually had some money come in from my FAFSA, or I can't even say the word, but for school. If you're in college, you know what I'm talking about. I had a refund come in for I think $600-700, and you know, I took the time, you know, I set the money aside, and I wanted to figure out what to put it in. And well, I ended up putting it into a bot. Okay, I put it into TKS, and I learned how to bot shoes. Now you may ask yourself, how much of that is botted? Well, honestly, nothing there is botted at all. That is all bulk deals. That's all manual stuff like that. You know, most of my stuff I bought is typically already sold quick. I've not had a lot of success botting. I'll make a different video about botting, but things I've hit recently, I hit 3 pair of the Yeezy Black 350s botting. I hit 5 pair of the Shattered Backboard 3.0s. Actually, I take that back. I have a Shatter that's from a bot back there. That's it. Size 14. If you want it, hit me up on Instagram at Boro Kicks, or once again, my Twitter at Boro Kicks. Follow it. But anyway, so botting definitely is worth it if you know what you're doing. I'm still new to it, so you know, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm still trying to get better, and I don't have the capital. So that kind of leaves me on my own now to basically try to do the best I can, and that's why I got into botting. So like I said, botting's worth it if you know what you're doing. It takes hours and hours and hours of learning. You got to set up, you got to buy the bots, you got to do server work, you have to buy proxies, cook groups, all sorts of stuff. So it's like very, very in-depth. I one day may make a video about it. Once again, if I do right now, it's not gonna be the best, could be inaccurate. It just all depends. You know, I'm gonna give it my best, but yeah, y'all don't wanna see it quite yet. That's for a different video. But anyway, so now that we kind of discussed that, that brought me onto my next step after I started getting more of a capital built. And let me tell y'all the key to your success right now. It's not any of these bots, which I mean, they could be, don't get me wrong, but if you want to do manual, because most of my stuff on this channel, I want to do manual for you. The biggest way I found sales is Instagram and Facebook groups, okay? So for both of these, they're a little bit separate. I ended up getting into more Instagram once I bought a bulk inventories of Obsidians, Gym Reds, and Blue Chills. This guy, my buddy Sneaker Riots, he actually threw me into a group chat of national local resellers, and that's kind of where I made those connections to people. You know, I talked to them more. I was like, hey, who sells bulk on Instagram? Who do y'all know? Because at the time I was brand new. I had maybe 25 followers on my Instagram, versus these guys had thousands and thousands and thousands, or hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So, you know, they kind of hooked me up with these connections. And getting bulk deals is about connecting, the network behind it, and how much you buy, how often you buy, and you know, just that's kind of the key and the foundation to everything. Now, Facebook's a little bit different. I've not really found any great Facebook groups yet. I've been, you know, had recommendations of some, invited to some, and nothing seems to be great. I watch other YouTubers give lists. Some of their groups are okay, they're not bad, but once again, people typically, sell bulk from what I found through Instagram. So that's kind of, the way to go. So for me, Instagram, that's like over Facebook any day. But, we'll talk about that in a different video. We'll talk about, how much I bought, stuff like that. But anyway, guys, so for me, once again, I started off from doing the whole Nike outlet. I moved into eBay and local buying, and then eventually got on Instagram, found more people local that are actual resellers, and see what I could do. And that's kind of like the steps I've taken through my whole 2, 3, 4 month process. Now, I said been selling 2 to 3 months, and that's like consistent. That's like that, but really, I started the whole outlet back in, I think, June. So it was about June, July, somewhere I started that, and then came into college, took a break for a bit, got into the eBay. That only lasted a few weeks. Then once again, about 2 months ago is when I first bought those original pair of Yeezy Cloud Whites. And ever since then, I've been trying to stack up. So it's not a bad deal. But that's kind of how I got into everything. And that's kind of most of the stuff you need to know. But if you have any other questions, y'all can feel free to message me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all the Twitter. That's kind of like your best resources. Just ask me. I will always be here to talk to y'all. I'm a smaller, YouTuber, smaller seller, so I'm not crammed 24/7 with hundreds of DMs, stuff like that. So I have time to help you all out. So if you ever need to know anything, let me know. But with all this being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna end the video, and I hope y'all have an amazing day. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. That really means a lot to me. We did fantastic already on yesterday's video, even though I kind of promoted it a lot. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end off the video. So I wanna say thank you all very much for yesterday's support. And if you made it to where we're at in the video right now, thank you very much. I know it's kind of a longer video, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna come up with some more, new, fresh ideas. But until then, hit that subscribe button, like the video, follow my social medias. I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all here in a few days.